Okay, so we start off with my reference image. I use Creator's reference image so I can just sketch under it. I kind of initially cheat with anatomy and I will just sketch under a picture. We use this guy again because he's very Reth coded. And there's lots of reposted content of his from Pinterest, although I haven't found any new content of his. I don't know if he's on the internet anymore, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, I just get a basic brief sketch underneath, and then I will just toss them to the side, and I will just have my basic sketch underneath, which doesn't really look like Reth, so we're gonna fix it. I spend most of my time sketching. It's a lot of back and forth, erasing and relining, and erasing and relining. I spend a lot of time on the mouth and a lot of time on, well, just the general face, making it look more how I want, and again, less like I just traced over a guy's face. I typically, this is the most amount of time, this takes up the most amount of time, is just specifically reshaping the face. It kind of gets annoying after a while, but hey, it turns out fine in the end. And keep going with the sketch, got the headband going in, making, bringing in that character, getting the hair in. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep the hair. I did end up keeping my hair, but for a while I wanted to change it. I'll flip the canvas every once in a while. I find flipping things gives things a new perspective, making sure that things don't look super wonky. I used to not flip the canvas. I didn't like it before, but it's gotten a lot easier for me to do that. With the sketch as well, I will use the lasso tool to make sure sizing looks right and everything. The lasso tool is my best friend. And it's so nice for when things look alright, but I don't like where they're placed. I can just move it. Now we're just cleaning up, making the body look and exist. I think I spent some time on the hand as well. That one I came up with from imagination. It was from a previous reference image that I'd started working on, but I didn't like, so I got rid of it. And here was the hair debate, deciding whether or not to go back and forth with fluffy hair or the basic well-known dreads, twists, whatever they are. I decided to go with fluffy hair because I'm different and I'm special like that. And I have enjoyed learning how to draw hair. And we do some final touches on the sketching, making sure that everything's nice and pretty. Once I'm satisfied with the sketch, I think I ended up messing with the eye here. We'll move on to line art. I use the same pencil for both, and it's technically just the default brush, or the default pencil from Krita. I just bump it up a little bit, and I have a stabilizer that I put on it after I finish the sketch. And it just makes things look nice and juicy and nice. Oh yes, we're admiring this for a minute. And I think we're gonna get going on line art here in just... So I'd say line art is probably my second most satisfying thing that I do with drawing. The first I'll show in a minute, but I just really take my time. I get up close and personal with the piece, and if I don't like it, I just hit undo and try again. But I like kind of crunchy line art, hence the pencil. And I will just go through it very slowly, making sure that everything looks right. There's some bits that I keep messy, like the hair, but for majority of it, I like to keep things tight and crisp and just very, very precise. This is just something where I can just turn my brain off until I have to fix the line art, which I did do with this hand. I didn't originally like how it looked, so I fixed it. And I will sometimes, once I'm done with line art, go back and tweak some things just to make sure that things don't look super wonky. I did that a lot with this piece. For some reason, I just didn't like how it looked, and it just kept looking really off to me the whole time. So I still kind of think it looks off. I don't know why. Whatever, it's done. But once line art's done, we'll get rid of the sketch and... Oh, not quite moving on yet. Gotta finish up the hand. Again, I didn't like it. So, doing some last minute touch-ups. And then what I like to do is hit the background color and then color my lines after I duplicate them and then hit the top layer with bird. It just makes everything look really nice, and the liner kind of flows with the piece. I do a quick background. I don't really like doing complicated backgrounds, so we just kind of do this weird, avant-garde kind of thing. Just to have a background and to get some color in there. And once I'm done, I will start on what's probably my favorite part, the most satisfying part, which is the underpainting, where I will outline the entire character outline with the underpainting color that I want to use, which is typically a lighter version of the background, and then that's what I use to paint over on the same layer. It just makes things look so nice and so connected. Once we're done with that, we get to coloring. I know nothing about color theory, really. I just guess until colors look right to me. So I will just color until things look nice. I like to, with people, obviously I draw a lot of people, so I like to really make them look alive, so to speak. So very blushy, very fun, and right here, actually, my program crashed. So I had to completely redo. That was a panic-inducing moment. I was already like an hour into this, and then my program crashed, and I didn't save. So obviously, I saved the piece, and we're back to coloring, back to what we were doing before. Skin, face, that kind of thing. Spending a lot of time on the blush. I love doing blush. It's my favorite thing. Once we're done with that, we will do the circles around the eyes, as well as the eyes and the... Now, the way I do eyes typically is I will color it with, not white, don't color the corneas with white, but a very light color, and then I'll hit the irises with a bright blue, and then over that dark blue, and then I like to get the little hearts because I think it looks cute. Anyway, we're on to the mouth. I don't color teeth very often. I don't do open mouth drawings very often. I don't know why, I just don't like them. So I kind of struggled here for a minute because I don't know. But once that's done, we move on and we do the eyebrows and the hair. I like to keep the eyebrows and the darkest part of the hair the same color, just for continuity. So typically I'll do eyebrows first so I get an idea of what the hair color should be. And then it's just throwing color over the whole thing. I like to match my strokes with the hair direction, just to kind of give it a little bit of life and a little bit of bounce. Like I'm trying to see if I wanted to fix things, and then realizing I didn't like it, so back to hair. Giving it that lighter red underneath. I forgot about this ear, so I had to recolor it because I forgot I gave him 2 ears this time. Trying to fix the face again, deciding I didn't like it, going back, and then doing a little stipple. And this is the rare moment that I actually shaded hair. I never really learned how to do it, and I refused to do it for a long time, but I'm learning. So I do darker parts in the darker areas, and then that little yellow in the part that I know that the light's gonna hit, and then I go with the brush really thin and just do little bits, because you're little flyaways and stuff that the light will hit. And then we do the easiest and the simplest part, which is the shirt. Just a purple gray, which actually looks great because of the underpainting, color theory. The rest of it, whatever. And then the final bit, which is shading, I'll do a clipping layer over the flats, hit it with a light purple and a white, and then a dark purple in the dark areas, and change the setting to multiply, which makes the white disappear, and give us that nice little bit of shading. Once that's done, I'll clean it up a little bit. Usually it doesn't take that much time. And then over that, I will color a yellow, the same as the background, and hit it with the blur, and just to give it that little bit of color bloom, make it look a little bit more alive.